This episode is sponsored by MMS, Missionary Music School, changing lives one note at a time. Go to mmsforeveryone.com. Oh, I like it. No. Hello everyone, my name is Porfirio Gueiros and you're listening to Think and Play. I invited a few of my students, which I call friends, to talk about music. What made that song so special and what made that song different and what that song influenced in their lives. If you like music like me, if you're a music enthusiast, this is the podcast for you. So enjoy, have a seat, and let's think about music. Thank you. On this episode, I invited my friend Erik Burduzha. Erik's a hard-working guy, very bright, very honest, straight to the point. And Erik is one of those guys that we should have as a good friend. This episode is about friendship, people that God put in our lives to challenge us, to make us better. And sometimes they come to us and say, hey, you're doing this wrong. And they change our life. This is what good friends are for. I have a few of those in my life. I can say I had like 4 great good friends. This episode is about these people that God put in our way to help us become a better person. Erik, it's all on you, bro. Let's go. Who's Erik?
Erik Burduzha.
From
middle name Jurgovich. So that
Moldova.
is right next to Ukraine, Italy, right there. Tiny little country.
Tiny little, yeah.
Really small.
When did you come to America? How, when, and why?
When?
What's the reason?
Reason, had no choice. Family was moving. When was 8 years old, I believe, 8 or 9, right in between, I would say. I did not want to come. Like, it was bad. I remember throwing a fit. I remember crying my eyes out because I had a bunch of friends already. My grandma in Moldova, probably, she showed me the most love out of all my families. I grew up there, so it was really hard. I was coming to a place I didn't even know where I was going. Like, we're leaving, and they said we'll never come back. Yeah, not never, but so we'll visit again someday.
But you came with your mom and dad?
Yeah, mom, dad. So we got, I think, refugees we applied through, and we had a place to stay because my aunt already got here. So we were able to stay at her place, so it was a lot easier to come.
So we're talking about 1990s?
Yeah, I would say right 2000. So it's weird because right when we got to America, 9/11, I remember 9/11 clearly happened. Maybe a year into it.
Oh, really?
So maybe 1999 we got here.
99 to 2000?
Yeah.
9/11 was 2001, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yes. I barely spoke any English. I remember we were in an apartment. I was watching TV, and I just remember 2 buildings, and it was burning. So that's what I remember, like, the first things of America. It was 9/11 when we got here. Because that was, like, the main boom.
Event.
Yeah. Because it's like I just start learning a little bit of English.
Yeah.
So understanding is like we're going to war, this is happening, and as a kid you're like, what the flip is going on? So I'm like 10 years old now, or 11, so I understand, but not logically understand what's happening. But I didn't want to leave. I remember the day we left very clearly was a white van walking through a gate. We get in there, and Dad's trying to close the door, and I have my hands and they're like prying me inside the car, and I'm like holding on, screaming. Even though my dad was very abusive, I didn't care about we're gonna get a beating. I didn't want to leave. They pulled me inside, and my dad starts shutting the door. You know, one of those sliding doors. And I put my hands back out already again and grabbed on, and my hand, all 4 fingers, got jammed into it, so they had to unjam it. Flying was probably one of the coolest experiences.
Okay.
I enjoyed traveling because of that. We were very poor.
A Christian family or?
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
So it's persecution.
Yeah, persecution probably. And when we were on the airplane, we were getting random kind of snacks because it's a very long flight, and we got different kind of foods. It was never tried before, so it was really cool. Seeing technology in different kind of ways, and I'm a kind of a nerd a little bit. I'm a gamer. I enjoyed it right away when I saw all this kind of different technology. And then we had to have a standby somewhere else, and it was completely different as well. I slowly started getting excited for the future because I'm like, yeah, this is something different, because we were just farm and nothing around, and I'm starting to see things what I saw on TV. Let's see where this goes. It could be a good thing. Exactly. So when we got to America, I actually started enjoying myself a lot. It was amazing. Bananas, until I went to Brazil. Now I can't stand bananas. But when I came to America, well, I didn't have such thing as bananas. And I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. But bananas tasted different 20 years ago.
2001, you're in America, you have all these dreams, you have all this, you can do whatever you want with your life. The American dream for me is that you can choose whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, and you can make a living out of it.
I agree 100%.
That's the blessing of America.
I agree with that 100%. Like 100%. America is a land of opportunity and freedom. Yeah. I call America hope for the world. And I believe if America loses its freedom, I feel like the world's going to be in a very bad place, because even when you're at your lowest, you're able to stand up because you know there's hope. And like, for example, you, me, coming from countries like that, we're able to still survive because when we know one day there's might be a chance, because of America, there might be a hope. I can go to a place where I can change a generation. So that hope is like, okay, maybe I can send my kid, like Mario, Mom, there's this hope I can change my generation if I send him to America. And same thing for us. The best thing my parents did was bringing us here. Not knowing that at this age I understand that, so I'm going to teach my kids differently. It's like school's not number one. It's important to know how to read, write, and do some math, but understand some of your history. It's not determining your future. Except if you wanted to. For example, lawyer, doctor, it depends what engineer, it depends. But when I got here, I didn't know that. The land of opportunity and freedom. My mom said it's a free country. I'm like, okay, well, I was free in Moldova. There's no difference. I didn't really understand the bigger picture because they came from a very socialism country. It's kind of like yourself in Brazil, not a big difference. Go study, go study, go study. So you
can be somebody.
Exactly. And from me and Mario are very on the same page. I love learning when I love something. Trust me, if you put something in front of me and I fall in love with it, I'm going to dissect that thing like nobody's business. I'll break it down better than the person who created that thing. But if I don't like it, no matter how much you beat me, no matter what you do to me, how much you punish me, I'm sorry. Like, even though if I pass, I'll probably forget it within 2 days.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's not in my mind. I'm not dissecting it. For me, the way my brain works, I need to dissect something so fully that it's part of me. And if I don't see a part of me, I never enjoyed studying. Like, I hated it so much. I did drop out. I got kicked out when I was 16 years old because mom was like, you're not studying, you're just playing video games, you're not doing nothing for your life. So I was like, well, I enjoy playing. She's like, well, you're gonna keep playing and get out of my house and figure out how to support yourself, because life's not. And I agree with my mom on that one. If she would have let me continue doing what I was doing, it's handicapping me.
Oh yeah.
Because she's just feeding me, and I'm keep wasting my life at gaming. Maybe I would have became a pro, but that's a maybe. And the chance of that time, this day and age, becoming a gamer pro is 100% easier than when I started. Because especially back then, they were not getting paid even close to 100,000 a year. Now it's 20 million, 30 million gamers are getting paid. One gamer. Then there's Twitch. At that time, there wasn't a lot of that. The future of gaming is a whole other level, actually. You know how basketball, soccer are billions of dollars? I believe the future, 20 years from now, gaming is going to be the billion-dollar industries, multi-billion-dollar industries. I'm playing against other people, so for me it's like competitive. I'm a very competitive person. It's playing against other players and you're outplaying them, because it's almost like chess. Business is chess. Anything like pretty much a friendship. Some friendships, it's a chess game. It's making the right decisions, saying the right words.
Yeah, the movements, the one movement. Think about God as the greatest chess player of all time for the eternity. He sees the whole picture.
Yeah.
He has both sides, the bad one and the good ones. Who is against, who is forward, and then this movement will do this, and then So for me, God's a chess player.
Oh yeah.
So he's a video gamer.
Yeah, and that's the reason I believe you said it perfectly. One of the reasons a lot of people are like look down, it's like, wow, how did that nobody become such a great person? And part of chess, part of being a gamer, is blindsiding somebody who did not ever expect a person to hurt you or to like overplay you. So God, like you said, he's playing chess, and the opposite opponent was looking at it, playing against God. The devil is looking, and it's like, oh, I don't need to worry about this. Then out of nowhere, boom! So I should have worried about that person. You know what I mean? Like I believe that's one of the reasons God uses the people who were broken the most, who are weak and sometimes disabled, to do a lot of great for the kingdom. And I've noticed more of those people do more greater for the kingdom than the ones who are like from the beginning fighting for God. Even though they're fully fighting for it, it could be one of the reasons. We don't know.
But God, most of the time, God uses the weakest I believe it's to tell the strong ones. I'm quoting this. The strong ones. Hey, this guy here did it better than you, and you're supposed to be the strong one. So this guy has no arms, no legs, and he was doing better than you.
Yeah.
And you the strong. You call yourself the strong one. This guy's the strong one.
I agree.
But gaming, it was never into my life. I never allowed my kids to play video game. I never spent a penny on video game.
I think I was listening to one of your podcasts. You were sharing about that. You told them to, what's it called, save their own money.
Yeah, if you want to buy video game, man, it's not buying from me.
Yeah, I remember.
There's no money coming from.
And your wife was like, "Are you serious? You gonna do that? Any instrument though, you did buy it for them."
But yeah.
Speaking of that, right when I came back to America, and you're saying the land of opportunities in this, so I started understanding more, and I was like, okay, I can get into music classes and stuff. And you might know, a few of my people know from back then, I love singing. That's like, I adore it. I just wish God didn't punish me. I believe it's a punishment. For some reason, vocals are trash, but I enjoy it so much that I still do it. Especially when the music's loud, I don't hear myself, so it doesn't matter. Going with that is like, I started getting into music class and so on, and I fell in love with saxophone. I enjoyed it so much. Something about it, I don't know what it was. I guess I like older music. I've always liked blues. And I went to my dad, and I was like, Dad, I really want a saxophone. And my dad was doing very hard labor. He was in construction. He said no, and I kept asking him. And one day he broke me. And he took the money and threw it at my face. He said, here's my hard-working money. Do whatever you want with it. Leave me alone. Since then, I never picked up an instrument in my life. Yeah, and it hurt really bad. And I would say, to this day, sometimes when I think about it, it still hurts, because I'm like, what if I was can't sing, but what if I was able to put it in somewhere else so I can listen to it or play or something else? And that's one thing I do different with my kids. I ask them, whatever you want, anything you want to play, you want to listen to, you want to sing, when you're dancing, I encourage to the max. Even if they're doing it in public and they're embarrassing me or singing, I don't care. I tell them to do it. And Elisha loves gaming, so that's one thing about Elisha. And I encourage it, but at the same time, I want to teach him how to balance it as well. Like, you gotta be able to do both, life and gaming, because it's a pleasure. If you're able to do both, it's a very amazing, actually.
Let me tell you what's my issue with gaming and screening time. Is that you lose the human interaction. You have to keep in track that, okay, you're interacting with the screen, with the computer. You don't see the person in the other side of the screen, but there's a person with feelings, with emotion on the other side of the screen.
I agree.
And they run away from this eye-to-eye contact. And
I agree.
So we have to find a balance between the emotional connection and the gaming.
If you see how I talk to people on gaming, you will not consider me a friend. I'm serious. My wife, she hated gaming for a while until she got to know me better. After the first 5 years of marriage was very difficult because I gamed. She was like, who is this person, the way I talk? But I explained to her, that's not me, that's not who I am when I'm gaming. I'm like, let me take it there. Hey, Erik, open the door.
So that's my concern. We have to create balance.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier about Elisha. I love him game, but I tell him all the time, like, bro, you gotta understand. There's time you can play, then you gotta go outside, play in nature, talk to your friends, go make friends. But Elisha's really good at making friends, so we did a really good job of that, and I keep encouraging it. But yes, I go to competitions, I go to lands, I meet those people who never had that balance, and it's very awkward. Because they talk so much. In me, them, they don't talk. They freeze up. They freeze up, and they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to read body language. It's completely different.
We are young and dumb. What can I do?
True. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there.
Yeah.
I have so much advice, and I'm like, crap, man. Where would I be right now in my life if I listened to at least 10% of advice I got? I was so freaking stubborn that I didn't listen to advice. Even now, my wife, even she tells me some stuff, and I know she's right, and I don't listen. And I know a year later, I'm like, oh my God, why did I not listen to my wife? But again, it goes vice versa too, because I've tried listening to some people, and I've lost so much money because of that too sometimes. Wow. I should have done what I always done. But again, I would say we need to learn. It's like, okay, if it's business, if that's my strong suit, do what I need to do. Don't listen. If it's something that I'm not good at. And the problem is, like, a lot of things, like you said, you were open book. I'm still an open book. I say what's on my mind. Even if I'm a stranger, I will talk and I'll say something. My problem now, I'm realizing more, is that I always tell them that I expect them to know how I feel, who I am. But probably a lot of people don't know who I am. Even in our church, a lot of people know me, or hear about me, different kind of rumors, but they don't know who I am. And for me, I feel like, why is this person getting upset when I tell him the truth? I'm doing it out of love. It's not like, I think I'm a very loving person. Like, I know I'm an ass sometimes. I just say it as it is, but it always comes from the heart, like without any harm. Except if I'm just trying to be a jerk to somebody, that's a different story. But if I'm saying something about you, the reason why I'm telling you is because it's true. 99% of the people, I'm gonna be honest, don't do that.
No.
And a lot of people don't like me, but when they need to know the truth, even if they don't talk to me anymore, they'll call me and ask me, Erik, what do you think about this? I'm like, we don't talk forever. It's like, I know, but you always tell me the truth. That's the problem with this generation too. They don't like hearing the truth.
No.
Or maybe I'm too open.
No, they like to listen to lies. Let me tell my experience with Erik. I met Erik. Erik was like 17, 18.
Yeah, 17, 16 actually. First time you came here, I think it was 16. Yeah.
So you're 26, no, you're 30 now.
32.
32, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting old now. I'm realizing I'm actually gonna die one day. I thought I was unstoppable. Then when I get in my 30s, I'm like, wow, I'm actually getting older. It's weird, but I never thought I was gonna be there. It's weird, but I always still think as a child, though, inside my head. I still feel I'm 18 years old.
Me too.
So I'm like, when I listen to your podcast, I'm like, man, he's already had grandkids and he's still winging it. So I'm like, we're gonna be winging it forever. I told Elisha the other day after I listened, I was like, Elisha, dad is just learning how to be a dad, and Papa's doing trial and error. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, I'm learning how to be a dad. I hope I'm doing a good job, but this is my first time. He's like, this is your first time? He's like 5 years old. He's like, what do you mean you're practicing on us? I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I'm like, I didn't have a dad, so I'm winging it, bro. But yeah, I was 16 when you met me, I think.
Yeah, no, but I love straight to the point people.
Makes life easier.
Makes my life so much easier because I've been lied a lot of myself or my behavior. He's good. Oh no, he behaves like this because his family background, whatever. So there was always an excuse, and nobody ever told me that I was an asshole until I meet Panic or Erik. Hey, bro, you need straight to the point, straight in the wound. It goes like,
exactly. Me and Funny. When we sit down, we don't hang out all the time because he's very busy, his family, his life. But when we do, it'll be hours conversation. It's like we're best friends almost. It's weird because we're both straight up to the point, and we don't get offended. Like, oh, okay, and like, thanks. I'll decide to deal with it or not.
I get impressed with Pastor John when he speaks the truth.
Yeah, the last 2 services, I was very proud. I was proud. I started getting proud again. I'm not gonna lie, because before I was like, come on, like, I know you, I know you, Pastor. I know you. This is why I fell in love with the church, because you're like my type of person. You say what's on your mind. People need to hear the truth. And the last few times, I was like, man. I started calling him Pastor again.
Okay,
because I was saying John. I was like, let's go, Pastor John.
It was good slapping.
Yeah,
it was good.
I like it. People need it.
Oh yeah, but it has to be out of love.
Yeah,
it cannot be out of hate or out of anger.
Yes,
or,
I agree.
I don't like Seattle because Seattle is full of gays. Don't worry about that. God has a plan.
Yeah, we can approach it later on the conversation about the gay, lesbian. I can be a little forward. Maybe it will help some people who are listening to it, because I was I'm still against it. I don't agree with it, but I would not want to be around, or I would get disgusted when I would see them. And there's something that recently happened that they're one of my favorite people, actually. I have a gay cousin. He came out probably like 7-8 years ago. I was in the house when I was babysitting him. I raised him kind of because the dad was a lawyer, and I would watch him. And I remember he was always a little bit different, but that's how Elisha is. So he was a very smart kid. He loved biology, everything, and I would spend time with him. And when he told me, I was like, it was hard for me to believe it, because I'm like, I know you since you're a baby. I raised you. And I'm like, and I don't know where you came to conclusion of this. I'm like, but yes, you're always a little bit different as a kid, but not in this kind of way. You just loved life, and you love the world, nature, biology, all this. I think you need to discover who you are. But I'm like, but I'm not God, and I can't tell you what desires I put on you and something like that. But I told him I will not agree. I don't agree with you. I don't accept it. And he looked at me and he said, I hate you. I'll never speak to you. 5 years went by. He came to a family gathering. We talked, and he said, out of everybody, Eric, you loved me the most, even when you didn't agree with me. And people who agreed with me didn't love me. They just acted like they're like, do you, and they didn't in my life. And he's like, since even after 5 years I ignored you, came back, you're still talking to me, treating me the same way. I've always looked at it that way. But what fully made me change my mind right now was I hired this girl. You can tell she's lesbian right away when she walked in. And I was like, crap. I was having interviews like, man, how do I blow her off? She started talking. 1-2 hours later, we're talking and we became best friends. The more we're talking, I hire her. I invited her to our house. We started spending time. You know, I'm up front, how I joke, and I started making gay jokes and this. And she expressed how she felt she didn't like it. I was like, well, this is who I am. This is how the jokes. And she was like, oh, it's okay. Because I know you. I know you're not diminishing. It means different to you. And she didn't like Christians. And I was like, well, hello, I'm right here. And as we hang out, she started looking at Christians and she's like, I've never got loved by anybody as much as you guys, even my own family. Now she like comes up, she hugs Cynthia and me. She's like, thank you, big brother. She calls me big brother, and Cynthia's sister. And she's like, I never thought this can happen from the Christian side. And I was like, and then she started opening up to me, and how she came into that, being lesbian, hurt me so bad. It's because she was in so much pain, and that's the only thing that took her in, and who the community accepted her. I was like, what? And then she got drawn to it, and now she's like, it is that, she became who she is. But because there was nobody else to love on her, the wrong type,
the wrong people came in and loved her and
accepted her. They loved on her. There's other stuff that happened that that made her look a man different. But I'm like, well, not all men are like that as well, you know. So after I got to know her, I was like, man, I gotta stop judging people. Because I don't know their story. I don't know why they're there. That definitely made me second guess and slap myself. It's like, okay, Eric, no more judging people. Just go love him.
No, go love them.
When I say love, it's not like God love. Just love him like you're gonna love your homie.
Eric, if we followed only one commandment, love God above all, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It doesn't say love your gay neighbor, love your straight neighbor, love your Chinese neighbor, your American neighbor. No, love your neighbors, whoever is next to you, as you love yourself. So if I love myself, I would never harm you. I would never harm your family, because I have to love you the same way I love myself. So I cannot judge Eric. I cannot judge.
Well, what if you judge yourself? I judge myself all the time.
But I judge myself because I have my own conscience and I have my own background. Oh, I did this. This is wrong. So it's a good thing to judge yourself, but not to judge others. Leave that judgment to God. This is what God. You deal with it. I'm not dealing with it. What you told me to do is to love my neighbor. And I had this coworker, Oscar, Mexican guy, gay guy. I had so many good conversations with Oscar, and he came from a very traditional Catholic family, so-called Christian Catholic, and they said, I don't like that. I don't like Christian. The judgmental thinking of Christians. Just because, I was released from all my sins because Jesus paid my sins on the cross, so now I am better than you. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm worse than you. The only thing I did different was recognize that I need help.
And I got saved.
I got help.
Exactly.
So everybody needs help. Everybody needs Jesus. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs the same. So I cannot judge anybody who's around me.
Sin is a sin.
I'm a sinner the same way. If I steal a penny from your house or $10 million, for God, I'm a thief. The consequence is different.
Yes, I agree. Consequences, a lot of people forget about that.
Forget about the consequences.
Even if when you get forgiven about some stuff, a lot of people are like, well, this person did this, and you can just add God's forgiveness. Like, God forgive him, but there's consequences. Some are worse consequences than others, or some are generational. I'm like, you can't justify God. You can't.
No.
And I'm the same way. I'm like, what helped me understand God even more before, I was like, I looked at God as my dad. I hope everybody's listening. This is very, very important.
Go.
Very important. In my opinion, every single Christian who gave their life to God should look at their life this way. If you do it, I promise you, it's going to change. You should look at God as your dad, and you're his number one child, your favorite child. I believe I'm God's favorite child.
Yep.
Over you, over my kids, I'm his favorite. I'm like, I know, I'm telling Elisha, Eric,
I'm his favorite.
I know you believe in Jesus, I know God's, but I'm his favorite. He's like, no, Dad, you love us. Why should it? I'm like, because I'm his favorite child. I know he is. Like, that's like so core to me. Like, no matter what I do, no matter what I see, I'm like, I'm his favorite. It's gonna happen no matter what. I believe if I do this, it's gonna happen. Coming back to what I was saying about before, about wanting to be a dad, that was my goal. I knew I was gonna have 2 boys. I'm God's favorite child. He's gonna give me 2 kids. I wanted twins, 2 boys. I didn't get twins, but I got 2 boys. Completely different than each other. I'm very happy about, and I knew I was gonna have an amazing wife. I don't know who it was, but I was like, God's gonna give me exactly who I need, who's gonna blow my mind in all aspects of love, emotional, and like respecting me, to honor me, how I need to grow. And I knew it. I don't know who it was, then I met Cynthia. And
Tell me, Cynthia's story.
man,
You fell in love for her, but she
it was the
kicked you out.
stupidest way I fell in love. It's a sad way.
She didn't like you.
She liked me.
This story with Cynthia and Erik and other stories are so fascinating that I had to stop here. So this episode, it's to be continued. I also asked Erik, give me a song that changed your heart. And he chose this song called Favorite One by Misty Edward. Always on his mind, 2014 by Forerunner Music. Let's listen to it. See you next week.
Jesus, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I have to know. Jesus, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I have to know. For I am after your heart. I'm after your heart. I'm after you. For I am after your heart. I'm after your heart. I'm after you. Jesus, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I have to know. Jesus, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I have to know. I'm after your heart. I'm after your heart. I'm after you. For I am after your heart. I'm after your heart. I'm after you. Jesus, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I after you. You know that I am God. I am after your heart. I'm after your heart. I'm after you.
All right. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Think and Play. If you have any questions, shoot us an email, thinkandplay2222@gmail.com. Subscribe for more episodes. We're going to have lots of more to come. Peace out. Thank you, people. Bye. Love you.